Good morning. Today is November 19th. Welcome to our Unitarian Universalist congregation. I'm Lillian Fifield, your service leader for today. We welcome all of you to our service, especially those of you who may be searching for a spiritual home. Many of us once also were seeking for something larger than ourselves to which we could belong. A sense of being rooted to hold us as we create meaning in our lives with others. We do that well here. In this congregation, we strive not for perfection, but for authenticity and connection. So welcome. Our beautiful congregation building is closed these days as we continue to take the best precautions that we can to keep us all safe during the health challenges presented by COVID-19. The pandemic is still plaguing in our area. So once again, you are viewing this service by pre-recorded video. In the background you see is my home office. Our service minister for today is Reverend Bonnie Anderson, with the special music from talented Reverend Andy Anderson, and you will hear more about them later. A few reminders: all of our services are recorded, and you can view all services anytime on YouTube. The after-service discussions are recorded also and on YouTube. The links for joining all these events are in the UmQuest newsletter, and emails from Michael Wheeler also provide the links. Sermon copies, when available, are mailed to you on Friday. The after-service discussion begins today, Sunday, at 11:15 for check-in, and the actual discussion at 11:30 with Reverend Bonnie Anderson and her husband, Reverend Andy Anderson. Following the sermon response discussion today is a most important congregational meeting at 12:30 on Zoom. There is news to hear and decisions to make. This is a meeting that you want to be sure to check into. Again, all these links are in the newsletter. We thank, as always, Michael Wheeler and Lucy Swangham for their work on producing these videos of our services each week. And now, as always, we begin each service with the lighting of our chalice and these words as you watch. The chalice lighting words are by Eric Williams. May the spirit of love be, and may the power of your heart's love be, a living flame before you, a guiding star above you, a firm path below you, and a gentle presence with you. The opening words for today's service are by Mahatma Gandhi. Some will be familiar. Be the change you want to see in the world. What barrier is there that love cannot break? Our true beauty lies in purity of heart, and power based on love is 1,000 times more effective and permanent than one derived from fear or punishment. The day the power of love overrules the love of power, the world will know peace.
When I wake up and see I control my destiny, and no thoughts or things I bring into my life every day. when I let the possibilities see the best in me. Let go, let God give love, and know when I just release and let go, greet the world with love and know it's in my life. Every day I just give thanks and I say, oh, thank you, Spirit. Thank you, Spirit in me, for another wonderful, wonderful day in this thing we call life. I live a life of joy and peace, a life filled with harmony. I let it express in every way in my life every day. I live so I can see, I can demonstrate all of my possibilities. I never worry or fear. I just listen to that still voice whispering in my ear, and then I let Spirit lead the way. Give thanks for a brand new day, and know it's in my life. And when I decide to change my mind, I know I can do anything, be and have anything I desire. And when I wake up to my truth, let it come shining through. I'm living from the inside, I just see it right now. So just align yourself with Spirit and allow yourself to live it in your life. Just align yourself with Spirit. Now just go on, celebrate and be it in your life. Oh, just align yourself with Spirit and allow yourself to live it in your life. When I love myself just the way I am, I can free my power wherever I am. At any time I can redefine, get a new paradigm, and let myself grow and grow. There's only one life, and life is divine. I know it, I claim it, it's mine. I let myself see it starts with me. It's perfection that I am. When I see the best, know the best, be the best I can be, I release and let go, give love and know. When I love myself just the way I am, I can free my power wherever I am. At any time I can redefine, get a new paradigm, let myself grow and I claim it, it's mine. Ah, take two. I forgot the second verse. Oh man, I am so hoarse. Wow. All right, let's start. Let's do this all over again.
Let me introduce to you now Reverends Bonnie Anderson and Andy Anderson. Both are ordained ministers living in Roseburg who love traveling around the West Coast, sharing their music and message with congregations like ours. Reverend Bonnie is an interesting teacher whose speaking style is upbeat and energetic. Her mission is to allow God to work through her to bring more peace to the world. And she uses personal stories and examples to kind of drop in ideas that go right to the heart. And Reverend Andy is a singer and a songwriter and a poet who always comes from the heart. He composes and performs visionary spiritual music that inspires and uplifts. This music has been referred to as spiritual food for the soul. So let us enjoy both of them now.
Good morning, everyone. Please join me in a meditation. So wherever you are right now, close your eyes and go within. Take a deep cleansing breath. Hold it for a moment and let it go. Take another deep breath, a full deep breath, and let it go. Feel yourself relaxing every muscle, every fiber. All is well in your world, and you are relaxed and peaceful. So put your hand on the center of your chest, in your heart chakra, your heart center. And breathe into that center and say the word peace. And breathe out through your solar plexus. Breathe in peace. 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 And as we sit in relaxation, we go higher. So imagine yourself, your essence, lifting out of your chair and looking down at the top of your head, sitting here meditating. Going higher, imagine yourself on the ceiling, looking down and seeing yourself sitting in the chair. Going higher, imagine yourself over the roof, looking down at the roof where you're meditating. And higher yet, so you see your entire neighborhood. You see the trees and the grass. Going higher, even higher, you see the whole community of Roseburg. You see the mountains and the rivers and the people. And you let yourself rise even higher up through the clouds. You look down and you see the countryside. Higher, you see all of Oregon, Washington, California, Mount Shasta. You see it all. And you go higher still, seeing all of North America and South America. And letting yourself rise higher. You see the entire earth. You rise higher into space and you look out and you see the beautiful planet Earth floating in the sky, in the universe, in the black sky. You see the beautiful colors of blue and green. You see the cloud coverage. And you're filled with gratitude and love for this planet on which we live. You feel such a sense of peace about it. You see it renewing itself, becoming more verdant, more alive. This is our sweet, beloved Gaia. And we surround the earth with love, blessing every person in every country in the world. Blessing every animal, every rock, every creepy crawler. We bless the trees and the mountains and the rivers and the oceans and know that they are full of life, that life is renewing itself even now. So as we hold this vision, sit in the silence for a moment. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes and join us here. I hope you enjoyed that. I did. Felt really good to see a beautiful earth. So my talk today is about the transcendent power of the heart. We talked about the heart in the meditation today. And, you know, I've been thinking a lot lately about our own internal GPS system. We all have an inner compass that leads us to the truth. We all have like a GPS system built into our consciousness from before we were born that will lead us in the right direction for us if we listen, if we unplug from the outside world and turn within and listen. You know, I thought what a wonderful thing to teach children from the time they're little. I wish I would have done that with my children or even my grandchildren, teach them that they have an inner knowing. And we call it a conscience, and we probably talk about that, but it's a very strong knowing and an ability to know right from wrong and to know which path to take if we turn within and listen. The inner compass that will always point us to true north. And true north is where we are the most authentic. It's where we're the most joyful, where you feel good, you have clarity in your life, you feel peaceful. We all know that feeling, and we all know when we don't feel that feeling, when we're out of alignment with it. But if we listen to the voice of the heart, it will lead us back to that inner wisdom, that inner wise being that always knows the truth. I've been rereading Michael Singer's book, The Untethered Soul, which I think should be on everyone's reading list. I love that book. And he says, the heart is actually very simple to understand. It's an energy center, a chakra. It is one of the most beautiful and powerful energy centers, and one that affects our daily lives. We sometimes become disconnected from that inner knowing, that wisdom of that heart, that inner knowing that we have the answers within us. We spend a lot of time talking to other people. You know, do you think I should do this? Do you think I should do that? What, have you read this? Have you read that? Or reading books, when actually the power is within. And I know that you know this. I'm preaching to the choir, right? This is a reminder for me and for you that we don't have to look outside of ourselves for the answers to the things that we're grappling with, or the things that are troubling us, or the things that frighten us in the darkest part of the night. Now, this inner wisdom is not to be confused with the critical ego voice, which we all have within us also. This compassionate, wise voice never criticizes. If you hear a harshness, it is never the voice of love, the voice of the inner beauty. It's never hopeless. It's never mean. And this voice that is always looking for what's wrong is not who you are. It's not who you are. Who you are is the one that is hearing the voice. In the Untethered Soul, he calls it your inner roommate, that voice within your head. And if this voice that's talking to you in that negative way, that ego voice, if it was your roommate, if that voice lived in your home outside of your body, how long would you keep it around? He invites us to do an exercise, and I did it, and it's amazing if you listen to it. Imagine that voice, that critical voice, is sitting at the table with you. You've invited it in, it's sitting at the table with you. So for instance, I woke up in the morning and I said, I think I'll go for a walk. And that voice said, great idea, but you better go now, because if you don't go now, you're not going to go. If you wait till it's too hot, you know how you are, you won't go. If you don't go now, you just waste it. You're going to waste around all day and not do anything. But you better get up and go for a walk right now. And then later on, I said, I think that I'll call a friend and maybe we'll go out to lunch. And the voice said, well, where are you going to go? I mean, you know, Lighthouse doesn't have very much variety anymore. And there's not many places to go in Roseburg. And maybe your friend won't be able to go. Maybe they won't want to go with you today. And on and on and on. If that voice was from someone that I invited to my table, that said, oh, don't wear that shirt, that doesn't look good on you today, The voice that doesn't let you win. If you say, it's too early to get up, it'll say, no, it's not, get up. If you say it's too late, they'll say no. Everything that we say, it will turn around. And I know we all have that voice within us. So imagine that voice is actually sitting at the breakfast table with you. How long would you allow that roommate to live in the house with you? The one that points out everything that you do wrong and worries about everything that could go wrong and paints a bleak picture. You know, we don't solve problems by changing things outside of ourselves. Many times we think we do. My teacher used to say that he knew a woman that left one city and moved to another city to be happy, but she took all her problems with her. So she had all the old problems at the new city. We sometimes try to change our environment to be happier when the change has to start from within, in our heart. It's like when you drop a pebble in a still pond and you see the circles, the ripples go without from that pebble. It's like trying to change things by manipulating the circles around the pebble, the circles that come out from the pebble. You have to start at the center. We start with our own heart. It's important to decide what it is that we desire, to figure out what we want. It's kind of hard to have what we want in life, to have the life that we want, if we don't decide what that is. If we don't decide, what are we seeking? What are you seeking? Think about that for a moment this morning. What would you like more of in your life? What would you like less of? Ernest Holmes said there's a place in your mind where it merges with the divine. There is a secret place in the Most High within everyone, and we should seek to discover this secret place. We must keep the channel clear. We must provide a way through which the water of spirit may flow down into our minds and out into action and everyday living. Because we're just not thinking about these things, we're bringing them by taking action on them. And a statement that I really like, there is a place in your mind where it merges with the divine. That's our heart. That's why there's such a transformative power in the heart. It's where we connect with the oneness that connects all of us, that is similar, that is divine. When we look to that divine presence within, that silent witness, we let faith guide us. Having faith to that we know that we can listen. All we have to do is have faith that we can listen and know the truth. And there we are led from the inside out. And that's where creativity resides. That's where the new ideas reside. That's where all the inventions and the wonders of the world come from that inner knowing. And when we have an insight that comes from within and begin to manifest in our lives, it's not always popular. Not everyone is happy with the new ideas. I mean, it's kind of an interesting comparison, but think about the Wright brothers. The Wright brothers had a vision of man flying. And everybody said it couldn't be done. And actually, there were religious leaders that said it shouldn't be done. If man was meant to fly, man, we would have been born with wings. But the Wright brothers didn't listen to those people outside of themselves. They didn't go around and take a poll. Do you think we can fly? Do you? And figured out which side won. No, they had an inner knowing that flight was possible. They had an inner knowing that they could create. Think of the paradigm shift. Man had been walking and for forever on the ground, and all of a sudden, man is lifted up into the heavens and can fly. They did not give up. They did not listen to the outside. They listened to their own inner wisdom, their own hearts. You know, when it was, Andy and I have been married 42 years. So it was probably 44 years ago when we met in San Francisco. And we immediately knew that it was a relationship that was going to last. And it was kind of love at first sight. And I grew up in a family in Michigan. We did not have much experience with Black people or minorities there. It was a pretty white community. And but I was always taught to be fair-minded. We were not allowed to use racial slurs. We were a liberal family. We believed in the equality of everyone. At least that's what I thought. But yet I must have had an inkling, because I told my parents that I was dating a musician, which was bad enough. I didn't go the whole way and say I was dating a Black musician. And they were concerned about me being with someone who wouldn't be able to make a good living. You know, musician isn't necessarily who you want your daughter to marry. We had a lot of lawyers in my family, and I think my dad hoped that I would become one. Thanks goodness I didn't. So when Andy and I decided that we wanted to get married, I told my parents, and it was not good. There was a lot of pain, a lot of angst, a lot of tears. My father begged us not to get married because he thought that I would have a hard life. In Michigan at that time, there were not many examples of mixed couples, of racially mixed couples anywhere. And there was a stigma on being a white woman being with a Black man. And I was really shocked and hurt that my own parents believed that, because they taught me to respect and love everyone. And that's what I was doing. But when it came that close to home, it didn't work. My father pleaded with me to not have children because he didn't want me to bring mixed kids into the world that would have a hard time. My brother George, my sweet brother George, younger than me, when he saw a picture of Andy, I saw a tear go down his face. But I had an inner knowing. It did not sway me at all. It hurt me terribly, and I was very upset. But I had an inner knowing that Andy and I were the ones to be together. I had an inner conviction. My heart told me the truth. And so I didn't sway at all. I never thought about leaving Andy because of all their advice and their concern. Didn't even enter my mind. I had a strong conviction that he was the one for me, that we were the ones for each other. My heart was saying yes, even though many other people in my life said no. My sister Debbie was one of the few that supported me in that. So my family wouldn't come to my wedding. We got married by ourselves in Lake Tahoe, and then had a big party with all our friends when we got back. My sister planned a big party for us, and we celebrated. And eventually, when my family met Andy, of course, you know, they loved him. How could they not? And my father actually was closer to Andy than he was to his white brother, his white son-in-law. They loved him dearly. Of course, they loved our boys dearly. We're proud of them. And my father actually became a campaigner for racial equality. And when someone would tell a racist joke there, he would stand up and become angry. He became very outspoken about that. So it changed him, and it woke them up. It woke them up. So when we decide to follow our heart, it is not always popular. It's not always easy. It can create waves in our lives that we don't like. And that choice for me was very clear. But I'm sure that there have been times in my life when I wavered, or when I didn't listen to my heart, when I didn't, and I listened to society, or I was worried about what other people would think, and I tamped myself down. But what I'm asking is for all of us to go higher, like that meditation, to go higher, to get a higher perspective and see that it is all possible. And we can't go wrong when we use our inner GPS. So let us come from this inner wise person more. Let us remember the truth that resides within us. Make a practice of going within and hearing the wisdom that is there. Turning within rather than without. We can achieve more, give more, and receive more than we ever imagined when we do this. We can raise ourselves higher and achieve things that we thought were impossible, because right within us, we have the most trusted advisor. The divine intelligence, the infinite divine intelligence of the universe lives in us, lives in us. Why don't we believe it all the time? Why do we listen to the outside voices? Because they can be very loud, very powerful. But I challenge each one of us to listen more, because that's when we spread our light in the world. We spread hope, we spread love, we spread joy. When we follow the inner path, the wise one that is always clear, that is always loving, that loves us unconditionally, and that will always say yes to all of our desires. Michael Singer says, you have a wellspring of beautiful energy inside you. This flow comes from the depths of your being. So let's say that. I have a wellspring of beautiful energy inside me. Let's say it with creativity. I have a wellspring of beautiful creativity inside of me, full of new ideas that have never been thought before. Power. I have a wellspring of beautiful power inside of me. Say that with me. I have a wellspring of beautiful power within me. Guidance. I have a wellspring of beautiful guidance that lives right here, closer than my very breath. And love. We all have a wellspring of love that is always flowing, always flowing. So let us allow the wisdom of our heart to transcend the difficulties that we have and raise us up. Ruby said, only from the heart can you touch the sky. Thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful day.
When I love myself just the way I am, I can free my power wherever I am. At any time I can redefine, get a new paradigm, let myself grow. There's only one life, that life is divine. I know it, I claim it, it's mine. I let myself see it starts with me. It's perfection that I am. When I see the best, know the best, be the best I can be. I release and let go, give love and know. When I love myself just the way I am, I can free my power wherever I am. At any time I can redefine, get a new paradigm, let myself grow and grow. When I love myself, when I love myself just the way I am, I can free my power wherever I am. And when I decide to change my mind, get a new paradigm, let my love grow and grow. When I know the truth, it has to produce the results I'm looking for. It's done unto me as I believe. Possibilities all I see. When I see the truth, know the truth, be the truth as me. I know that I know that I know that I know that I know. When I love myself just the way I am, I can free my power wherever I am. At any time I can redefine, get a new paradigm, let myself grow and grow. Let it love grow and grow. Let it grow. Let it grow and grow. It's all I am. Let it grow and grow. It's all you are. Let it grow and grow. Let it grow and grow.
Thank you, Reverends Bonnie and Andy Anderson. Your words and music are so helpful. We move now to our closing words, which are by Ian Huntington Bear. They are, you are in the story of the world. You are the world coming to know itself. May we trust that all you will ever say or do comes from the heart and belongs in the story of the world. And now we move to extinguish the chalice, and let us reflect upon these words entitled, Go Forth in Simplicity by Samuel Trombone. We go forth in simplicity, find and walk the path of your heart that leads to compassion and wisdom, that leads to happiness, peace, and ease. Welcome the stranger and open your heart to a world in need of healing. Be courageous before the forces of hate. Hold and embody a vision of the common good that serves the needs of all people. Thank you for joining us today. And remember the congregational meeting and the after-service discussion.